because here's the deal. You're not in the patio business. You're in the business of transformation, transforming their outdoor space. You build spaces that change lives, and your sales conversation needs to reflect that. Welcome to the Sales Made Simple podcast. This podcast is dedicated to helping overwhelmed outdoor living professionals, landscapers, and hardscapers just like you increase your closing rate to over 75% without doubling your workload so you can build a seven-figure business that doesn't need you. I'm your host, Joshua Gillow. Let's dig in. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're going to keep digging in the Core 10 Sales Playbook, guys. I'm giving you a little taste of what that book is all about. It's been such a blessing to write it and to share all of these experiences, all of these truths, all of these scars, all of this stuff that I've learned over the last 30 years in the outdoor living business, doing projects from $5,000 projects to well over $500,000 projects and more. These truths, these fundamentals that I talk about in the book are so prevalent in every single conversation. When they're missing, the sale falls apart. And when they're present and focused on, it becomes much easier to close clients and to move them closer to their dream. So today, we're going to dig into core number 3 from the Core 10 Sales Playbook. And if you've been pitching patios and pergolas or pavers, this one's for you. This core focuses on don't sell features, sell outcomes. I'm going to say that again. Don't sell features, sell outcomes. Even if your customer comes to you with a laundry list of everything that they want in their backyard, and they're all feature-based, patio, pergola, pool, deck, whatever it might be, understand that they're not after just those things. They're after an emotional outcome. It's our job to go deeper. Here's the brutal truth, guys. Nobody lies awake, none of your homeowners do at least, at night fantasizing about concrete edge restraints, polymeric sand, or the compaction rating of your base. They don't care about those things. They're dreaming about the experience that they're going to get from their new backyard. They want to step outside and feel peace, pride, possibility, even significance. So if your pitch sounds like a spec sheet, you're not just boring them, you're losing them. Here's what selling features sounds like. We use top-tier materials. Our team is ICPI certified. We install 6 inches of base. All technically true, listeners, but all technically boring and forgettable. This is what everybody's telling them when they come to the door. Everyone's coming to the door and saying about all these wonderful things that they do, which makes them better, trying to prove that they're the best choice. But here's the shift. People don't buy what you do. They buy what it does for them. Let me break this down with a few examples. Feature, built-in fire pit. If you're just focused on that, and you get them a quote for just a fire pit, you're going to be in line with the rest of the contractors who did exactly that. If you want to stand out, create a focus on outcome. So by listening to your customers during a great discovery phase of your relationship, you might pick up something about your clients wanting the space that they can relax and enjoy themselves under the stars. So imagine winding down your outcome focus for that customer instead of it being a fire pit. You might say something like, imagine winding down with your family, making memories under the stars. Would you like that? And of course, they're going to be like, well, yeah, great. Then a fire pit could work. But you've just emotionally charged that fire pit with a vision of the future, of the dream, their dream, not yours. Remember, those words, the relaxation and winding down and under the stars, is all pulled from your conversation earlier. Next, let's think about a feature like covered pavilion. How many times have customers called just for that? I want a covered pavilion. I want a new pavilion outside. I want some protection from the sun, from the rain, whatever it might be in the backyard. So I want a covered pavilion. So you go back and you get them a proposal, maybe a design for it. And then you find yourself in line with 2 or 3 other bidders, and you probably lose because somebody else is willing to do it for less. Now, you can shift that. Again, listening well, keeping your listening ears on, your sales detective ears on. During your conversations, you found out that what they're really trying to achieve in their backyard isn't another structure that they can look at out of their window. They really want Thanksgiving at their house. So you can frame it up this way. Instead of a pavilion, you could say, now you can host Thanksgiving dinner outside, even in the rain. Think about that. If that is their true motivator, their true goal is to be able to host Thanksgiving outside, even if it rains, That's really why they're building this. It's why it makes sense for them to spend all of this money on this structure. It's not just because they want another structure to look at or that they'll feel even better with themselves because they have more roof square footage on their property. What they're after is that time together, that connectiveness that they have with their family, in this case, on Thanksgiving, even when it rains. Next, we'll do one last one here. Lighting package. That's a feature. Oh, I want some lights around my house. Got it. That's nice that they want lights around their house, but there's a deeper emotional driver, listeners. There's a deeper emotional driver that's driving that. It's not just because they want more lights. It's not just because they want a bigger electric bill. It's because they want something deep down that is worth more than the money in their bank account, some emotional driver. So as you're listening, you find that they're a little unsure about how safe it is around their house at night. So maybe the outcome, instead of just lighting package, maybe the outcome here is to focus on you'll come home at night to a space that feels warm, safe, and welcoming. See the difference between lighting? Just give me a lighting package, just get some lights around the house, to a space that feels warm, safe, and welcoming. Now, again, those words come from your customer. You don't just make that stuff up and throw it at them because you might be right. You might be wrong because not everybody needs lighting or wants lighting to make them feel safe, warm, and welcoming in this case. Perhaps they want lighting because everyone else in a development has it and their house looks like the poor house in town. And they say, you know what, I really wish I had a space that looked just like my neighbors. We have this beautiful house and I'm the only dark house on the entire development. And if that's the case, they're not just looking for a lighting package, they're looking to stand out equal to or better than what their neighbors are looking at. So they don't feel like they're being left out. So they don't feel like people are making fun of them for not having lights in their house. That's an emotional driver. That's an outcome. So this is the kind of stuff that you need to mind during your conversations with them. Write these notes down. They're exact word fragments that they're using because those are the outcomes that we're shooting for. Your proposal better reflect those, not lighting package, $8,000. It will say simply, it might be called a lighting package, but afterward you're going to say about creating a space that is warm, safe, and welcoming in the outside space with all of these lights. You see what I'm talking about here? We need to translate that. We need to translate it from the words that they use. We need to capture them, and then we need to translate them back in a way that helps the clients move forward. That's the stuff that they're going to say yes to, not just a lighting package, because everybody else is offering them a lighting package. You can be different. Because here's the deal. You're not in the patio business. You're in the business of transformation, transforming their outdoor space. You build spaces that change lives, and your sales conversation needs to reflect that. So how do you do it? Start asking outcome-driven questions. Something like this. What do you imagine doing in this new space? What would make this space a complete win for you and your family? When this is done, what's the first thing you want to do out there? Then listen, 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 and keep your mouth closed. Capture their words. Feel what they feel. And when it's time to pitch, use their vision to paint the picture. That's how you connect. It's not about being the one that talks the most. We talked about that in an episode or two ago about talk less and close more. The more you listen, the better questions you ask, the more you can discover with your customer and the better you can lead them, because that's really how leadership shows up in a sales conversation. That's how you close, is by offering that gift of listening to your customers. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants a patio. They want what the patio unlocks in their life, how it makes them feel. So if you're tired of being compared to the lowest bidder, stop selling specs and start selling stories. That's your edge. That's your authority. And that's what turns a maybe into a heck yes. So thanks for tuning in to this episode. And guys, look, if you want more stuff like this, jump down into the show notes and jump on our early order list for the book, the Core 10 Sales Playbook. It's going to be coming out here early 2026. I'd love for you to be one of the first to get a copy, to take some of these ideas that I've collected over the last 30 years and be able to implement them in your business. This is the fundamentals of communication and sales. And if you don't get these fundamentals right, I don't care how good your pitch is. I don't care who you've trained with. If you're out there trying to throw the fastest curveballs to your customers with all these great questions, but not understand that you need to get the basics done first, these fundamentals, the core 10, if they're not in place, I don't care how good you are on the sales side, you're going to fall short quite often. So what's important is that you get the fundamentals in place and then you can add from there. You can have all the fundamentals in place and you can botch your pitch. And I'm telling you, you're going to sell a lot more because the fundamentals are things that you just can't they just can't go without. So if you want to help building these sales conversations in your process, you can simply go in there, grab a book, and get started on your journey, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the support. If you guys are loving what you're hearing here, don't be afraid to jump out and give us a review, a 5-star review on any of the podcast platforms. I greatly appreciate it. And it helps others just like you out there find the podcast so they can come in and get the tools they need in order to continue to grow their business and get more freedom in their life, spend more time with their family, and to really enjoy all they've worked for. So guys, thanks for listening. Talk to you next week.